Good evening, guys. I'm going to do I've got another case for you. It's in Sheffield, and it's another working girl who a murder has been unsolved, and it happened after dawn. And so I thought I'd sort of bring this one to your attention, and hopefully, we can pass it on, and let's see if we can do any good out of it. Okay. Now, her name is Michaela Hague, and she was from Sheffield, and she was 25 at the time that she died. Um, and she left behind a little boy, family and partner and whatnot. And the night that it happened was bonfire night 01, so that was the 5th of the 11th, 01. At the time of her murder, she lived in Pittsmore on Loppen Street. I hope I'm saying that right. And she'd only been working about 6 months at the time this happened, which makes it all the more sad. And the reason she was working was to sort of fund a heroin habit, like most girls, I suppose, down there, aren't they? But hey, she like I said, she lived there with her partner and a little boy who was 5. She was last seen being picked up on a side street in Sheffield called Bower Street, and this was the red light district at the time. It was in Broomall, just like where Dawn was picked up. 1 second, because I wrote it all down. I don't want to get anything wrong. She was picked up off that road by a blue Sierra, guy in a blue Sierra. He had a roof rack on, and this car was also seen leaving the scene where her body was found. So they do believe that this is obviously the killer's car. She was found about an hour later. She was picked up at 7, so she was found about 8 o'clock. And she was found by a friend who also is believed to also sort of worked on the red light district with Michaela. And I can't find anything about this friend. There's no mention of her. It just says literally a friend. So see if you guys can find out. Just keep that in thought though for the end, okay? Now, obviously, this friend alerted the police, and the first police officer onto the scene was a police officer called PC Twig. And obviously, he went over to help Michaela. She'd been sort of stabbed 19 times, and the police officer said she was sort of found face down, and they do believe that these sort of stab wounds was inflicted while she was face down onto the floor. 19 times to the back and the neck. Poor girl. So obviously he alerted, the ambulance and stuff. And as he was waiting for the ambulance, he sort of wrapped a coat around Michaela and held her in his arms and stuff. And very bravely of the girl, she sort of gave him a little description of him. And I don't think he had any paper on him at the time, because he wrote it on his hand, which was then photographed, which you can actually see on the internet. The description that she actually gave was that she said her attacker was 38 years old, roughly, probably about 6 foot. So it was, quite tall, really, wasn't it? He'd been wearing a blue fleece. He'd got a wedding ring on. It was clean shaven. It was white, and he had glasses. And the police were quite confident at that, because obviously it's always better if the victim herself gives these the description out, isn't it, rather than secondhand or from a distance. There's nothing better, is there, than the actual description coming from the victim, so to speak. So as Michaela, she was about 10 minutes from where she was found in the deserted car park. It was near Derek Dooley Way. It's not that now. It is something else now. I think it's some pub or other. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, the police sort of, while she was on the way to the hospital, the police sort of rang through to all the other officers saying, be alert for this guy in the clean shaven, 6 foot, roughly about 38 years old, got glasses, car Sierra blue, with the roof rack on, be sort of aware. Now, unfortunately, even despite being only 10 minutes from the hospital, she did actually die about 3 hours later. So it suddenly turned into, obviously, into a murder case. But like I say, the police was quite, you know, optimistic. They thought it should, you know, it was off to a promising start. So whatever leads they did have, they sort of kept from us. You know, they said they was going in the right direction, so to speak. Now, she died, I'd say, in the hospital. Now, her family believed that she could have been saved, and they was going to sort of, you know, make a claim against the hospital. So she had an autopsy. Then now there was two done. And I can only really sort of find any information on the second one, and that was done by Dr. Nigel Cooper. And he said that although there were stab wounds, you know, 19 of them, they hadn't actually punctured, you know, vital organs like a heart, a liver, arteries and stuff. And only 6 of them had actually punctured her lungs. So he did say that, you know, had she been sort of operated on sooner, she probably would have made it, you know. I don't know what the outcome of that with the family or anything like that. I don't know, because it just quite contradicts itself on the internet. One says that the hospital wasn't liable, and then obviously this makes out it sounds like it was. So I don't know, guys. I don't want to sort of mislay you in any way whatsoever. Now, during this time, the police were obviously working their way down the list of, you know, suspects or you know, leads and stuff. And a man from Worksop was actually arrested, but he was later released without charge, and nobody's obviously ever been charged with it. They did try and obviously they had the, you know, the model of the car, no reg number, but they did have a model. But unfortunately at this time there was very high, you know, very popular car, high demand car, and they you know, they tried their best. Unfortunately they couldn't trace it. It was such a high volume of cars on the road at that time. It did appeal on Facebook. Oh, sorry. It did do an appeal on Crime Watch. There is a Facebook page on there. That's why I ended up saying Facebook. They did an appeal on Crime Watch, which was watched by thousands, as I would imagine, but to no avail again. And then eventually it sort of went into a you know, unsolved box, but technically never shut, never closed them, until it was re-brought to the public eye. And that was in 2011, which was the anniversary, obviously, of her death. Now, despite another appeal on Crime Watch, nothing came again of this of the appeal. They did say that they were again, you know, new information had come in. They also said that they got DNA from when you know, from the murder and the scene where she was found. But they said they was hoping that obviously with the time that had passed, you know, the DNA scientific whatever had sort of advanced enough to get some sort of, you know, something out of this DNA. I don't know, because it doesn't say. It's very basic stuff really on the internet. It's not really telling you a great deal. But yeah, so they said they got a DNA, but they said it could be from a witness or it could be from, you know, from the victim. They don't know. They also said that they'd got CCTV, and they also told us that the guy was also wearing a hat, which never came out, and only came out sort of on this 10-year appeal. So from start to this 10, from the day it happened to the appeal, they'd actually had 10,500 lines of inquiry, what they followed. They had 7,400 interviews that they conducted. There was a reward of £5,000, and there was an arrest of the you know, the 45-year-old guy from Worksop. Only, you know, like I said, all charges dropped. Her son, he did sort of, you know, obviously make a personal appeal, you know, on the media and stuff, and he said, you know, it's time that somebody came forward now. You know, it's been 10 years. It's left me without a mum, you know, I didn't know her, and it's left a, you know, gaping hole in the family. And this killer needs bringing to justice. He's had 10 years of freedom that he basically shouldn't have, basically. So guys, what's our thoughts on this one? First thing that I sort of comes up to my mind is, if she told the police, if Michaela, which she did, brave of her, told the police about the, you know, the way he looked, the description of the guy. Now, he was the first officer on the scene, but the very first person who found Michaela was, in fact, her friend. I mean, even if they wasn't friends, the fact that they both work on, you know, in the red light district sort of bonds you anyway, you know, and I think she must have told her friend the same thing and a little bit more. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, I know she would want to have, you know, got the man caught, obviously. But I do sort of think she maybe would have said, "Oh, it's so and so, you know. You saw him last night, or you know, you saw him last week. It's that guy who's driving around looking dodgy." And you know, I do believe that. But we don't know, do we? And there's nothing on there about the friend. It doesn't say anything about if she said anything, you know, if she's ever come forward later on. I mean, if she sort of relayed this information to this friend, and that girl's there seeing, you know, Michaela laying there with sort of 19 stab wounds, she's probably not going to be able to come forward and say, you know, she actually said it's, you know, it's David, or, you know, I've actually been there, or, you know, it's a guy who gives us all lips, or, you know, because she's going to be scared of repercussions, you know. But no, there's nothing around this fence ended at all. They also said, I didn't mention, that they got Michaela's clothes. Now, there's never anything I can't find on the internet. If I've missed it, guys, you know, do tell me. But there was no description on what she was wearing, which I find, again, a little bit, I don't know. The fact that they held back the you know, the hat situation, the guy with the hats, you know, I mean, you wear a hat, that really just changes your appearance a little bit, doesn't it? You know, especially if you've got glasses on. And if you think back to the Dawn Shields case that I did before this, do you think there's any similarities at all? I don't know. They both lived in the same area. They both lived at Pittsmore. Obviously, they both worked in the red light district, which obviously puts them in the same area anyway. But they was picked up from the exact same street. Okay, well, I know sort of Dawn was sort of, you know, found quite a while later in a shallow grave, and obviously Michaela's body was sort of left in a car park. But I mean, they both had kids. They both had one child. They both had partners. I mean, you don't know, do you? You don't know. I don't know. And also they did, just like Dawn's case, receive an anonymous letter, which is very hidden about this with Michaela's. So I don't know. So guys, yeah, drop me some comments. See what you think. See if I've missed something, or you know, have a look. Go online and have a look at the pictures and stuff. See if anything refreshes anybody's memory. And I was recommended to do a video of about an unsolved case of a girl called Vicky Glass. So I've just been researching that, and that's going to be our next one. So I really hope that you enjoyed this one, as much as you can enjoy it, obviously. And yeah, so thank you for watching. I absolutely love you all, and thank you for your comments. Absolutely love them. They really do give me, you know, an upbeat when I need one. Keep them coming in back, guys.